So what we're going to do is we're going to try this out. It is a kit to restore your headlights. It uses the same methods that some of the DIY people use about painting and sanding their headlights. So after a while, your headlights are going to get a haze on them. And what it is just a bunch of little scratches. You can see there in the light. So what we're going to do is buff all those out. That's just, you know, bugs and debris on the road. We're going to buff all those out and see if this kit works. So here we go. So it says what the kit has. You can pause if you need to. And then what you need: a drill, masking tape, microfiber, spray bottle, water. That's to when you put the stuff on there so that it doesn't spray onto your paint. So we're gonna go for the instructions which are inside. First step, and it gives you the stuff in here, is 800 grit, then we're gonna do 1500 grit, and then 2000 grit, and then we'll polish and buffer. So the first part of that is going to be masking off the area so it doesn't have any spray over. And then I'll need some water and a spray bottle to keep it wet so that it doesn't scratch. This is nicer than, you know, just doing it yourself, because you don't have to buy a big sponge you're not going to use very often. This gives you everything you need. It's only 15 bucks, which is what you would probably pay for those pieces of equipment. And you have a drill, which makes it a lot easier than having to do it all by hand. Right here, it tells you how to, what methods to use. I had some really cheap duct tape that doesn't really stick. So I went ahead and put it on my pants and then put it on there so it didn't stick even less. So it should be fine. They're just saying, oh, duct tape, it'll be alright. It really will. Stuff is really crappy. So now we're going to follow steps. It's got a hook and loop Velcro fastener. And this is the pad. This is the side. It doesn't even really feel like sandpaper. It's so fine. This is the back side it sits on. It feels almost like a rough plastic. So it's really fine stuff. So we're going to go ahead and get that wet and hit it. Yeah, I just said that. Here, it's hard to tell, but it's really murky right now, and that's just part of the processing. It's going to be kind of scuffed up and look almost foggy, and that's fine. It's just that it gripping and actually helps you tell where you've missed. There's a really deep gash right there. I gotta get in there a little bit, and a couple other spots. But just spray it down really good and hit it with the sander, and good to go. So I'm gonna finish that up a little bit more, and then move on to step 2. 1500 grit. Looks a little bit more clear, a little less murky, and used to use a ton of water. I go through about most of that bottle per step. The next step is a 2000 grit, and it says only 4 to 5 passes. So there it is. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. The first and second step are the same process, just with different types of sandpaper. The 2000 grit's sort of finishing it up, and it says extra sanding in this step will improve final clarity. So you really want to do 4 to 5 good passes. What I've been doing is, because of the way my headlights are, I've been focusing on this section, and then sort of just like doing the back section, but to really focus in here, because this is where it's going to give you the clarity for your headlight. So when it gets dark, when I'm done, I'll show the difference between the two. Because when I first got these, they were really clear, and then obviously the scuffs and everything made them kind of dull. So I'm really interested to see the difference that this kit can do. This makes it simple and easy. 15 bucks as opposed to buying all these sanding pieces and then you have them laying around. This is just a nice, easy, simple, easy kit, and it could do easily both headlights. I'm just gonna start with this one and do it, and then do the next one. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the 2000 grit, and then we'll move on to polishing after that. So I did a couple passes with the 2000 grit, and you can see that it's At this level, it starts to bead a lot more. Before it would just sort of run over. Now it's hard to keep it wet, so just make sure when you're doing this step, you're keeping a lot of water on it. Because it beads a lot more and makes more dry spots. So the next thing it says to do is to dry it off and check for cloudy spots and make sure and get those spots so that you don't have cloudy spots when you're done. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and be right back. So it's mostly dry. I'm going to let it dry quite a bit, and then I'm going to go into the last step. You can tell it looks sort of foggy again. It feels really smooth. So now what we're going to do is polish and buff. So it comes with this polishing compound and this buffer head, which just velcros on the wheel like everything else. Nice and easy, nice and convenient. So I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna do a little section and then give you a little update, show you how it's coming out, and then continue on, show you the end product. Alright, not dry yet because this says don't let it dry. But you can see the murky to as you polish it, and then when this dries it should be really clear. So I'm going to finish this up and then I'm going to let it dry and give you another update of the end when it's dried. Alright, so here is the first application. It says you can do multiple ones if the clarity isn't good enough, and I don't think it is. It's a little hazy, which I don't think you'll notice in the car, but you can see the difference. All those scuffs are gone. They're both the same thing. It's a lot more clear. So I'm gonna do another application of the polishing compound and buffing, and then when it gets dark I'll take it outside. So there's the final application I'm going to do. It's not perfect, but I'm not really too worried about that. I just want to make it so it was a lot more clear, which I did, and we'll get an update on how it works at night tonight. Also, I'll do like a 3-month, 6-month update, and I'll attach this video at the appropriate time. So I mean, it works pretty good. It's pretty simple, it's pretty easy, it's all together, it gives you the steps, and it's so far so good. So we'll see how this works out for the next couple months. Alright, out. Please see if you had a worse off headlight situation where this would be something that would be helpful. So that's definitely depend on the severity of your headlight clarity issues. You should definitely do this. Mine apparently wasn't that bad, but it did help. I am noticing a difference. Yeah, there is a difference, slight, but it definitely worked. So I want to go check it on a wall in a dark area and see how well it looks on that wall. I'm expecting a more intense beam on the driver's side, so check that out. Here is the headlights. I did the passenger side light. You can see it looks brighter, not a whole lot, but you see how it's more intense on the left side of the screen. So the system did work. It's kind of significant. Looking in here, it's slightly noticeable in real life, but you can see a little bit more easily in this video with the intensity of the light. But yeah, so this stuff works. 15 bucks, definitely worth it. A little bit of time, doesn't take very long. It's pretty easy. I'm not, a pro at doing that. It just sort of picked it up, did it. Had a drill. Make sure your battery's charged. Mine died right at the end, so I sit there and do it by hand for part of the time. But just make sure your battery's charged, and just don't put a lot of pressure, and it'll make your headlights slightly better. But as always, go ahead and like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more XcerptShow.